Have you seen all the changes that have come out recently in the new EYFS? There's a lot to digest, and I'm here to make sure you're prepared for when they come into force for the 1st of September 2025. They include crucial changes around safeguarding, attendance, safer eating, staffing ratios, nutrition, and so much more. If you're a nursery owner, manager, or early years practitioner, this is essential watching. This video should help you to save hours, enable you to skip the dry reading and get actionable guidance right now. But before we get into all of that, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel Open Nursery with myself, Kurt Liania, where I support you to open, run and grow your own nursery. Here I guide nursery professionals to confidently implement new regulations and build outstanding settings. These EYFS changes are significant and no one should navigate them alone. In today's video, I'll break down every change in plain language, explain what you need to do and give you practical tips for seamless implementation. So let's dive straight in, starting with safeguarding and staff recruitment. So what's new? Well, starting from September, all settings must obtain formal references from anyone working with children, including assistants, students and volunteers. These references must be written and independently obtained, must be from a reputable source, so for example an employer or education provider, so not just personal. It must be detailed enough to confirm their identity, their role and their safeguarding suitability, and you must not accept open references, so for example to whom it may concern, and ensure any references are from the candidate's current or last employer, training provider or education setting and have been completed by a senior person with appropriate authority. This is an important safeguarding step. It aligns the EYFS with school standards and helps to prevent unsuitable people from entering the profession. Some things you may need to do to ensure your compliance is to update your safe recruitment policy to reflect this new requirement, add a references required section to your job adverts and staff induction packs, and ensure written references are retained for Ofsted review. The new guidance also places greater emphasis on the previous employer to give references. This is incredibly important as it's our responsibility as nursery owners and managers to support this guidance by providing references in a timely manner. We are required under the EYFS that when asked to provide references, we should ensure the information confirms whether we are satisfied with the applicant's suitability to work with children and provide facts of any substantiated safeguarding concerns or allegations that meet the harm threshold. And obviously, they should not contain any information about concerns or allegations which are unsubstantiated, unfounded, false or malicious. But it is important for us as a field to ensure that we give out references so that we can all do our bit to help safeguard children. The next important change is around whistleblowing. The new requirements state that settings must have a clear written whistleblowing policy that outlines how staff can raise concerns both internally or externally to places like the NSPCC, Ofsted or LADO. This helps promote transparency as staff will know they can speak up without fear. To adhere to this, you should update or create a whistleblowing policy with references to both internal routes and official external channels that staff can whistleblow to, and review this annually at staff meetings. Plus, make sure it's easily visible, for example on your notice board, in staff handbooks and on your website. The new framework also introduces a minimum safeguarding training criteria, where settings also need to document which staff have completed what training, when they completed it, and plans for refreshers or DSL training. Designated safeguarding leads must receive enhanced training covering local protocols, online safety and responding to staff allegations, with refresher training at least every 2 years. Your action plan for this might be to map out what training each staff member has, to schedule refresher training, provide adequate enhanced training for DSLs and include training information into your safeguarding policy. Moving on to the updates around attendance and absences. Your setting must maintain a clear attendance policy covering follow-up on unexplained or prolonged absences, and you must hold at least 2 emergency contacts per child. If a child doesn't attend and you can't contact their parents, settings should escalate this ideally to social services or the police. This helps to safeguard children who may be at risk and helps keep your setting compliant with Department for Education expectations. So to keep your setting compliant, make sure you write or update your attendance policy and define what unexplained absences is and the steps that you need to take. And during each admission, ensure you are collecting 2 emergency contacts and verify them annually. You can also train staff on the process, ensuring that they check in, call parents and escalate if absent. When absences do occur, make sure you document your follow-ups diligently. Another key change is around paediatric first aid and ratios. Students and apprentices can be counted in ratios at the level below they're studying, but only if they hold a valid current paediatric first aid certificate. So for example, if they are studying level 3, they can be counted as a level 2 for ratio purposes. So to implement this, you should be auditing your staff certificates and verify that those included in ratios hold relevant paediatric first aid. There is also a separate guidance around safer eating and nutrition. From September 2025, the EYFS includes statutory requirements around food, nutrition, allergies, choking risks, safe weaning and supervision. The Department for Education's new early years foundation stage nutrition guidance becomes statutory, and settings must follow it unless they have a compelling reason not to. This covers nutritional needs from birth to 5+, including breastfeeding, formula, weaning and portion sizes. It covers health and menu planning, food safety and hygiene, cultural, religious and special diet considerations, and packed lunches from home. It is important for you to familiarise yourself with this guidance, and I'll post a link to it below. But you should be updating your food and nutrition policy with reference to the guidance and coordinate with parents around packed food, ensuring adherence to hygiene and dietary needs, and organise staff training, highlighting the new portion sizes, menu planning and allergen protocols. The EYFS now also explicitly requires a paediatric first aider to be in the room during meal times, and there needs to be sufficient staff supervision who are watching children closely for choking risks, and you need to be logging any choking incidents and follow-up reviews. So if you have a mealtime supervision policy, you should be reviewing this now and specify who watches whom, and ensure that you always have a paediatric first aider in the room, and keep a choking incident log. Record the incident, response time and any subsequent actions, and review these logs periodically. And audit your dining area, the space, seating and visibility, and adjust as needed. Settings must also collect and share specific allergy and intolerance details with staff, and note safe substitutes. For weaning, parents and staff must work in partnership for appropriate textures and food. So update your induction forms to gather any allergy and weaning information, and have a standardized allergy action plan for each child visible to all relevant staff, and review weaning plans regularly, especially after a health visit. There's also been updates around nappy changing and toileting. This is all around privacy measures, as there's now requirements to have a balance between discretion and safeguarding. So as before, there needs to be an adequate number of toilets and hand basins available, and there should usually be a separate toilet for adults, though there's more emphasis on children's privacy, with a balance between safeguarding and the support needs when changing nappies and toileting. So for example, adults may need to use their body as a shield to protect the child's privacy while still observing the space. This helps protect dignity whilst upholding safeguarding. So to adhere to this, you could incorporate this nuance into your intimate care policy and train staff on maintaining comfort and oversight simultaneously. Plus, audit your toilet and nappy areas. Can one adult supervise multiple children with discretion? Another change is around your indoor space exemption. If your setting operates entirely outdoors, for example you're a forest school, you're exempt from indoor space requirements, only if children's needs are still met. You will need to document that your setting operates outdoors and how outdoor spaces substitute for indoor ones. And finally, settings can now keep children in the EYFS beyond their 5th birthday, but only with parental agreement. The EYFS profile should be completed at the end of the EYFS period. So with this, you can inform parents and seek consent for extended EYFS placements, and record or publish your extended provision policy publicly. So a quick recap on the changes. Around safe recruitment, it's all about references, with written references required, and safe recruitment must be outlined in a policy. Around whistleblowing, a written policy is mandatory, which outlines your internal and external reporting routes. Around safeguarding training, with regards to training standards and a DSL refresher every 2 years. Around attendance and absence, an attendance policy is now required with a follow-up process and 2 emergency contacts per child. A valid paediatric first aid is needed for students and volunteers to be counted in the ratio below, and a paediatric first aider must be present at meal times and snacks. With nutrition and safeguarding, a separate guidance has been created on this with regards to choking logs, allergy, weaning and mealtime supervision. With regards to privacy and toileting, you need to balance privacy and oversight expectations during this intimate care time. If you're an outdoor only setting, you're exempt from indoor space requirements, and with regards to the extended EYFS, you now have the option to extend beyond the age of 5 with parental agreement and proper profile completion. So those are the changes. To make sure you're compliant, audit your current documentation, host staff briefings to highlight these changes and ask for feedback, and schedule training if necessary. Plus, after implementing any changes that you make, plan a time to review your compliance and make sure you share these updates with parents. But those are all the updates. I hope this has saved you the time needed from going through the whole document. Though if you want to read through it, I'll post a link to it below, as I always encourage you to do your own research, and it's also important for you to gain your own knowledge too. If you have found this video helpful, please do like it and share it with your nursery team or manager, and drop a comment. What's your biggest challenge implementing these changes? And don't forget to subscribe for more resources on nursery compliance, Ofsted prep, and running an exceptional setting. Thanks for watching. Here's to a smooth and proactive transition for the EYFS 2025. You've got this. On the screen is a video that YouTube thinks you'll find useful, so head over there to continue learning. Wherever you go, God bless.